Well, his name alone instantly evokes emotion when people remember the September 11th attacks. Todd Beamer was one of the heroes on board United Airlines Flight 93. His last words before he stormed the cockpit of his hijacked plane, "Let's roll." Seconds later, Beamer and his fellow passengers tried to regain control of the aircraft, possibly preventing it from hitting another target. Flight 93 crashed into the ground in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and 10 years later, they have released some of the audio of the final moments on board that flight. You can actually hear one of the hijackers acting as the captain on the tape. It is a disturbing reminder of what happened on that day.
You got United 93?
United 93.
South of Chardonnay
Yeah.
has descended?
What's that?
I just saying, it looked like he descended
I
there.
don't think so. United 93, verified 350. Calling Cleveland Center, you're unreadable. Say again slowly.
Here's the captain. I would like to order to remain seated. We have one aboard and we are going to back to the airport and we have our demand, so please remain quiet.
Okay, it's United 93 calling. United 93, understand you have a bomb on board. Go ahead.
Well, Todd Beamer left behind 2 young sons and a wife, Lisa, who was nearly 4 months pregnant at the time. His daughter, Morgan Kay, was born the following January. Joining me now, Todd's father, David, who has spent the last 10 years educating the public about the story of Flight 93. David, thank you so much for being here. Those tapes are a startling reminder to the rest of us of the reality of that day. You require no reminder.
Good to be with you, Megan. And I must say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And I'm happy to be with you this afternoon and your many, many viewers. Yeah, we don't need a reminder about what happened now 10 years ago. You know, in one sense, it seems like the 10 years have gone by quickly, but of course there have been some very long days. But you know, this week I've spent a few days here in Ohio visiting with some school children here. Bless their hearts, they are working to see that the Flight 93 National Memorial not only has Phase 1 done, which will open this weekend, but seen full completion with Phase 2. These kids have been raising support 93 cents at a time.
Wow. And
it's been wonderful to see their smiling faces and their innocence and their hard work. And by the way, I did observe these kids saying and pledging their allegiance to our flag. It was a very uplifting experience.
Well, wonders never cease. You
Right.
know, I want to ask you, sir, because that obviously things have been shared with the family that haven't been shared with the public, but that is, for many of our viewers, the first time they've heard those disturbing cockpit voice recording tapes. You know, your reaction when you hear that level of detail of what was going on board Flight 93?
Well, Megan, we know what happened. We know that we have an enemy. And we're reminded every day, even though it's been 10 years, and of course even today, you know, we are once again on heightened sort of alert with lots and lots of brave first responders and police officers and all kinds of people preparing for the worst. We're doing our best to be ready to combat and prevent another terror event. But you know what I'm also reminded of this day, that we're doing a very good job of preventing and looking about this tactic of terror from our enemy. But I don't think we're doing a very good job at all about defending against another tactic that they're using. They use a tactic daily of infiltration to achieve their objective. Because make no mistake, they don't want us saying the pledge. They don't want us saluting the stars and stripes. Their goal is to fly the flag of Islam over our White House. And their tactic of infiltration with organizations like the Muslim Student Association, Muslim Brotherhood representatives in all levels of our government, the organization CARE, which I know really stands for constantly advancing the Islamic regime. We are too much in a state of denial about the tactic of infiltration and what it over time may well do to our republic. That concerns me greatly.
Sir, and I know, I mean, clearly there are some questionable characters involved in some of those groups, and others who mean only to advance legitimate causes in this country. But as I hear you talk about them, I can hear still some of your pain from the events that happened in your life, that changed your life. I mean, the country's life, of course, the country itself, but your life in a very real and palpable way. And I wonder, just looking at you and thinking again about Todd's story, when you go back to it and you think about what he went through and the courage it must have taken, God, you just must be so proud.
We're very proud of Todd and 39 other free people on Flight 93 that day. They had the opportunity to fight back. They did. It was a counterattack. It was a victory. As you have well stated, that the intent of the enemy was not to crash in a quiet meadow outside of Shanksville, Pennsylvania. I believe our nation's capital was the target. And that part of their mission that they had been planning for years was not a success. The counterattack was a victory. And yes, the Beamer family, Lisa and the kids, Todd's sister, the whole Beamer clan, we miss him terribly. There's a hole in our family, just like so many, many other families. Not only that day, but in the days and the years since, where so many brave Americans, in carrying on the fight to protect our liberty and freedom and defend our Constitution, have sacrificed their all. And you know, we remember those families, and we pray for our military every day. And I know what it's like when someone either would knock on the door or that family gets a phone call that lets them know there's going to be a hole also in their family for the rest of their lives. We miss Todd terribly, but we're so proud of what so many Americans continue to do to preserve our republic, our way of life, our freedoms and our liberties from those who would take it away.
Indeed.
And you know, Megan, sometimes our defense of, we're trying to be so politically correct that I think we endanger ourselves and we aid and abet an enemy who wants to destroy our Constitution and Republic. We best believe it and not deny it, because that's their objective.
David Beamer, our thoughts go out to you and your family as we approach 10 years since the 9/11 attacks, and our thanks to your son and his memory.
Thank you, Megan.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.